Good morning. I'm higher vibrations, and so are you. There's been a lot of weird stuff happening. Like, what is up with the color of my face right now? I don't know. It must be this weird light. Anyway, there's just been a lot going on, like a lot of extra purging, a lot of really strange sensations. Many people are reporting exaggerated dizziness, vertigo, this weird stuff going on with the tongue and the mouth. Um, we're just having a lot of like recalibration kind of energy happening right now, and just a lot of stuff. Um, if you find that you're purging, a lot of people, there are some people are calling this a specific thing. They're calling it an ascension flu. So that's kind of, so a lot of people are having this. I'm bringing all of these examples forward because it just been echoed back and back and back for days. And so yeah, a lot of us are finding that we're having more experience. So welcome everybody. Welcome Lindsay. Good to see you. Vegan Vixen's here. Samantha's here. Um, Jana's here. Path 88. Hello, welcome. Mrs. March is here. Hello. Hi, Pamela. Hi, everyone, she says. Um, um, I'll go ahead and read through some of these really quick. I don't want to get to, I'm learning to not read only the beginning ones. I'm trying to figure this out. Welcome, everybody. Lindsay says, hi, Pamela, sending you so much love. Are the jolts in the spine and body? My spine keep vibrating too. What are the jolts? Okay, so we actually have, it's really fun, Jackie. I saw Jackie come. She thinks it's funny that I think everything's fun. We have 144 chakras that are in our body. Everybody knows about the seven, right? We talk about the seven all the time. Those are primary chakras. And there's probably more than 144. I think that people got stuck on that number. They're like, oh, close enough. Let's round it down because everybody knows this number. And the joints, the vertebrae, these areas have chakral systems. And so, yes, there's a lot going on with this area, in particular with the mid back area. Okay, so a lot of people are getting what we understand are called energetic wings, right? So we have these wings, which are, there's nothing wrong with wings. Wings are cool. It's just that we didn't really notice them before. And so when we start to notice them, then we find that we have some kind of symptom. And so we're like overcorrecting. Like we find that we're like leaning to one side or more than the other. There's like weird, like it feels like you're having a backpack with way too many books on your shoulder for far too long, this kind of thing. Usually it's like right between, so like right at the base, like there's the top of the neck, just under there's this area here between the shoulder blades. The shoulder blades are two of your three plates, by the way. Then you have this plate. This is a whole thing. We really should sometime talk about the plates in a little more thorough conversation. But it's really useful to know this stuff. Anyway, in the back, you have the first set of wings. And then below, there's a second set of wings. There's about this much of a space between the wings base, the areas, or so, I don't know. And then below that as well. So if you follow your spine, you'll find that there's really not much space where there isn't some type of a wing associated. Some people see them like angel wings. And I like this example by one of my brothers that sent a picture to say what he can visually interpret his wings to look like. This is correct also. There's nothing that's incorrect, truly. So this example is more like how I see energy. I see the energy we can like move and reach and kind of connect to each other. So I like this visual because that's what I see. Our energy field has many more appendages than is shown in this image. It's a fun example though. And so that's also what's going on with the back. There's more to it than that, but those are the two main things. So thank you very much for your question. I'll move. Let's see. We got Samantha. Hey, Pamela, glad to be with you tonight. What helps relieve head pressure? And can Ascension make you feel weird? Sending love and light to you. Thank you for your question, Samantha. Okay, so yeah, Ascension can make you feel weird, for sure. different kinds of weird. In fact, that's usually how I describe it. It's just really weird, and then you'll talk about it. um, so let's talk about the head pressure really quickly. A lot of times, the head pressure has to do with a need for ionization in your body. Let's so our body likes having negatively charged ions in it. Okay, and most of us don't realize that when we get these solar flares and like also when we interact with like that electric energy, like some of it's just it's not necessarily bad energy. It's just like staticky. It's like kind of feeling. Um, then we get all these positively charged ions all in our body, and it causes you to have actually like static electricity when you touch something. It shocks. um, there's this disruption feeling in your form, um, and also causing incredible headaches. And so what I'll do, there's an ionization process you can do is walking barefoot on Gaia, so going outside and walking around without shoes and socks on for a little while, or laying down on your back and having your feet planted on the ground and in your palms next to you. I find this on the sides of you while you're laying down. This is also useful to do. You can ground with your the palms of your hands and the wrists. Really, it's really useful there too. Um, Also, you can Epsom salt or any kind of salt baths. Putting salt and salt water in little buckets and pans around you helps to ionize the air. And what's happening is taking all the positively charged ions out and giving them to Gaia, and then replacing them with negatively charged ions, which is the happy ions. You're like, oh, okay, I feel better. And this relieves a lot of the tension in the head. Um, I also find, Samantha, that when my guides and those light being energies that interact with me, when they are kind of demanding of my time and require that I stop what I'm doing and listen and go into a place of meditation, lots of times they'll give me a headache or just a very dull one that goes away when I close my eyes. It's just kind of like, hey, we're calling you on the phone. So it's something to think about. Um, if anyone else has anything more to input to assist her, there's another thing that I found too. These pressure points. You have the pressure point in your hand, so you put pressure here and also here. This area is a pressure point like acupuncture that relieves tension and stress in the head. I don't find that I need to use it very frequently anymore, so it's kind of cool though. Um, Pardon me. Okay. Uh, Jana says, hi, Pamela, and vegan, lots of anxiety. Lindsay, vibrating body has been crazy. I think Lindsay said something about a vibrating body that I missed. Oh, vibrating body, yeah. And so we've been having this for a while. So the vibration in the core of the body is one of the most common things. So you'll notice it usually up through this area or going down into like the belly. So even like as low as the pelvic. A lot of people are reporting some unplanned joy in a public setting as a result of this vibrational experience in the lower region of the body. If that's you and that's something that's you're having happen, you're not alone. And to not feel bad about it. It's just, as our chakras turn on, activate, then they access a wider range of frequency. I need to close this. I stopped hitting my elbow there. And so as we do that, then we find that we creating balance and harmony. It creates a vibrational sensation. This vibration sensation that moves through our core all the time, by the way, is like a highway of light. So you got light coming in from God, moving up from Gaia, and there's an exchange. And often we're having an exchange that's this energy that's been kind of dormant or stuck in this place that we're living, and so it's moving out too. So it's causing like this there's a little just enough resistance, and that's not the right word, but that's what I'm going to use, that creates this vibration in the body. So it's like whoa, all the way up. This is really cool, and I find it to be very useful to kind of tune into it when it's happening. So this is March. Palms of my hands have been itchy for a few days. Yeah. Me too. Soles of feet as well. I don't know about y'all, but like the soles of my feet have like been on fire, and a lot more. Usually, my body. That's how my body tells me go walk around outside. And so that's just what I've been doing. It immediately relieves it, but then it will come back, and so it's just something that we're regulating. Right now, I'm doing a rapid purging. I had a very fascinating experience with a light being a couple of days ago that initiated a rapid detoxification process. And so my body is not um, the example of everybody right now. I'm kind of an exaggerated version. So, Vanya, I'm noticing symptoms are weakening in September. Thank God. Cool. August was challenging and chaotic and tough. It's such a welcome break. I actually feel good and energized. This makes a lot of sense, Vanya. As everyone comes in and kind of finds this balance, what they're finding is that almost tolerance is a word that could be used, or even just being able to, when we know what's happening, when we've done it before, it's not that hard to do. It doesn't cause as much distress too, as well as having the symptoms weakening. The strength of them is weakening. That's pretty cool. I'm happy to hear that. Hello, Cheryl. Hello, Chrissy. Cheryl says, my skin has been feeling of being cold, but it's not. Skin feels weird when I rub it. Yeah. Okay. You're starting to feel some of the higher senses. The higher senses are fun. It's a fun game to kind of play around with. There's nothing, you won't cause any harm to yourself by doing it. There's a lot more to us than meets the eye, right? And so we're kind of learning how to access and interact with the rest of us. It's kind of fun. Thank you for mentioning that. Susan, hello. Loves in. Hi, my mom had ER visit, irregular heartbeat. I think the raising frequency is part of this, along with hurricane prep. Thoughts. Love you all so much. Thank you for this space. Wow. Well, I'm very sending some love and some balancing energy out to you for all that's going on in the world near to you there, and the hurricane and your mother. The heart palpitations are really super common right now. Not everybody, it's because of Ascension Symptoms. And so if you feel called to go and talk to a medical professional, please do. For me, I know I always have a growing heartbeat, a palpitation occurring when there is like some serious activation, serious healing, coding, those types of things are coming in. And so keeping that in mind, it's useful for me to be able to feel reassured when things are happening. Usually there's an area of my body that's heating up or cooling down rapidly, a specific area. And that's when I'm having a heart palpitation. Once I identify the area, then I can be in a place of peace and calm, because I'm like, okay, I'm doing this thing. Now I know for sure I'm doing this thing, so I'm not worried anymore. But it's just a thing a lot of people are having. Let's see. Trina, nausea and vibrations. Yes. I'm actually have no appetite right now. I have no desire to eat anything. And it's really, I went for 4 days in this no appetite, and then all of a sudden, like, I ate like 3 dinners and then now back to no eating again. And it's not that I'm not hungry. My body feels hungry, but she doesn't want anything. And so a slight nausea you're noticing at the top of the stomach area. So right now, I would say if I had to pick one of the primary 7 primary chakras that are being activated right now, it's the solar plexus. This is the yellow, the golden, the sun chakra that's above your navel, not below it, the one above it. And this one is associated with a lot of these symptoms that we talk about with when it has to do with nausea, nervousness, fear, that whole like anger, uncertain, there's all that stuff it's in the yellow belly area. And so one thing that really does help is to allow yourself to express some type of frequency associated with this color. That could be in a container. It doesn't actually have to be what you're consuming within the container. Like this has a yellow trim inside, so that can bring me, because I'm also having the same thing. Is this yellow belly needed to be soothed and calmed? sticking, this type of thing really helps, as well as I posted it on, I think it was, I'm not sure if it was YouTube or on Facebook anymore. I have more than too many things going on now. But there's these awesome higher frequency music that are very specific to chakras. And this one that I had posted, anything like it, listening to the solar plexus tone will help this area of the body too. So it's just really useful to keep that stuff in mind, considering all the different places that it comes from. Louise, hello. Hi, Pamela, and everyone. I have had really sore lower gums over the last couple of days. And no, it's not a dental problem. Anyone else had this? So, specifically lower gums, I know I had a few people mention this. For me, it's the top gums and usually it's the top gum or just the whole area across here. So it's also sinuses when we're getting really intense solar flares. It's just a thing that happens for me. It's my identifier. Often it's a dull, achy headache kind of in my mouth, in my gums. And then I know that the solar flare has passed or has kind of found some type of balance when all of a sudden I feel better. I'll need to take a lie down. Like I'll need to I gotta just I can't right now for a moment or so, This is really common. After I started talking about it, everybody was like, yeah, yeah, yeah. They started adding too. People would add the ear canal or like this area right in front of the ear, as well as the upper part of the jaw has a lot of like achy sensation and stuff associated. It's not always is it the gums. So yes, this is a common one. Thank you for your comment. Let's see, Love Zen. Louise, yes, this happens to me too. Like my gums are peeling off. Ouch. Doesn't sound like very much fun. I know that we're having a really intense, and all of us are, throat chakra activation. The throat chakra activation that we're having has been going on for a long time. Remembering how many of us, not just in this lifetime, though, most of us can relate to this in this lifetime as well, have lived in a place of secret and of lies in a way because of omission as a result of fear of persecution, consequence to speaking out your truth, to being your true authentic self. I mean, we all know the visuals of what it comes up when we talk about like witch trials and things like this, though this was a type of activity that occurred for a very, very, very long time. I was just talking to somebody else about this in a deeper level when we were talking about persecution for being a particular gender as well as a way that you can branch out from that. There's this whole nother thing about this too, and I don't want to get distracted before I forget to answer your question completely. Is that so we need to it's useful to know that what's happening right now is that we are unbarring, let's use that word, our throat chakras and allowing them to speak out the truth. And lots of times there's pain associated with that because for so long it was the consequence was very great. The consequence was very great to speak the truth. And so anyway, now we're unbarring each of these layers, each of these things that we've been kind of keeping hidden to protect ourselves, self-preservation. Now it's time to start to speak and be our true authentic self, to speak our truth. At the same time as this need to speak your truth is coming forward, and need meaning just a compulsion and just needing to, just driven as the salmon are driven upstream against all logic. They need to go back up the waterfall and things like this. That's what we're doing right now. We're compelled and we don't truly fully know why every time. And at the same time, there are these awesome places that are allowing people to step forward and to speak their truth. To I'm part of the Zoology Network, and Todd Medina has this new platform where he's allowing people to have their own shows. This kind of example, and then having people have their friends on and being able to speak their truth. Coming to some of these Zoom meetings that I have on Fridays, allowing yourself to speak your truth. There's very many different ways to do this, though. This is across the board a consistent experience. And so as we work through this, we'll notice more and more that it resolves tongue discomfort, and a lot of different other dental, oral, throat kind of stuff. So I went on a tangent right there for a bit. I apologize. I'm really struggling to stay in the moment that I'm in right now. There's a lot of different frequencies happening right now. It's not bad. Eric, hello. I have itchy ears and acne out of nowhere. I'm 49 and have not had acne since I was a teen. Yes. And this is super annoying, isn't it? Oh my goodness. And in the weirdest areas of the body. Okay, so what's happening for me? My current acne, it's like perfectly like right there. And then also though, I've got this stuff going on. It's not the crown. I have people moving in right now. So if it's, I don't know if you guys can hear that. Hey, 111 people here. But it's behind right here in this area. There's this stuff that's leaving. So a lot of the headaches were like, they would shoot out and they would be so intense, but it would be short enough of time that you couldn't call it a migraine. And then it would shoot out the back area. And all of a sudden now it's purging. Now it's turning into this weird acne in my head. And yeah, I'm totally with you. It's really the ear thing. So on top of that too with me, the ear area, we're having, actually that's a lot of weird kind of, and there's not even really acne. It's too fleshy to be acne. I don't know what to call it. But yes, exactly. It's these blemishes, these things that are on, and the ear area right now has been a really activating one. I've shared that with people in a group, and a lot of people can relate to that as well. Yeah, okay. So I don't know where this comment came from because I see people are talking to somebody else about it. Okay, here we go. Jenna says legs also vibrate all my body, and it's much more than usual. Yes. So like I've been noticing this in particular when I in a place I'm putting my body into a place of rest. And yeah, so going to sleep is one example, though it's not always that. It's sometimes it's just I'm stopping to do a session or to meditate or something like this, and then all of a sudden, like this area of my body's vibrating. This area, sometimes it feels like it's tapping. There's like a tapping on a particular organ. I take that. That's how I translate that is knock, knock, knock. Hey, look at me. And then we look at it. How do we look at it? If there's an organ in our body that's having some kind of a thing going on, there's an underlying story they're trying to tell you. And it's easy to find out. Go to the internet, any internet search engine, type in what emotion is associated with, and fill in the blank. What organ is it that, or area of your body is it that you're noticing is having some kind of distress? And then it'll tell you. And this underlying emotional distress not always comes from this particular lifetime that you're incarnated now. A lot of times it's not just past lifetimes either, though ancestral stuff. That's the one that's like always like, something gets stuck in the wheel there is we don't really think about. We're also doing this healing for our ancestors and the ancestral healing lines. And so that does help. Nadine, my body started vibrating about 9 years ago from the waist down. It's really weird when that happens, especially when you're walking. Like what to me, it feels like I'll be like walking down the road and all of a sudden, like my feet are still walking, right? However, my feet are, so I'm like, I feel like I'm like this and I really can't feel my physical legs moving. It's uncomfortable. It feels uncomfortable. Very bizarre. Okay. There we go. Fran, hello. My left palm and my left arm itched for like a month. Thought I'd go nuts. All is well now. Yeah, so the itching. Let's talk about the itching. Thank you for bringing that up, Fran. A lot of times we'll notice it first in areas of our face. So like it'll be like the eyebrow for like 3 weeks or something, then this one, then this one, then this one. By the way, for some reason, the eyelid is really sensitive right now for me. I'm noticing that my eyelids are just like the skin of my eyelid feels rough. I don't really know. Um, and the twitching that goes down into like large muscle groups, you'll notice like Charlie horses and things like that. As this is happening, we're just letting this energy flow and move out. And so when that happens, there's always a little bit of this. What's the right word? Resistance slightly, just because it's not in alignment with what's moving through, and so it looks like something like resistance. It's not. It's just that's how things go. Like when you're sweeping and you catch something on the ground that's been there a little longer than it probably should have been. So you got to like sweep a few more extra times, and there's like you see the bristles of the brush are disturbed by it. That's basically what it is. And then it moves and flows through and out. Mrs. March has been having craving and I've been craving and drinking smoothies. A lot of people have been talking about going on this juice thing, doing juicing, smoothies, things like this. A lot of people have been talking. This is kind of a fun part of this conversation. A lot of people have been saying things like, I don't feel like chewing my food anymore. Like I'm all set. And I can resonate with this. Like it's weird. It's a weird thing to say. It feels weird to say, though. It's like, yeah, I mean, I don't know how the progression of this works exactly. I do know that after a short time, we will be eating more and more liquid like things and light things, and so the way that we assume that consumption occurs isn't always going to be the same way. Jackie says, I saw we had a M6 flare. You know what? I haven't even looked today. I almost did before I came on, but I didn't get around to it. So solar flares and M6. Okay, so how the solar flares work is that they have, they also have like a smaller one that they're now reporting called B. They never reported B before. I don't know what this is for. Why are they doing this now? Because B is considered like it's not hardly anything at all. Like it's when you look at the color of there a spectrum of color occurs on the planet when it makes impact. It kind of like looks like a certain way. Um, there's different colors, I mean, and so you can tell based on what the color is that's being represented, how strong or intense it is. And violet is one of like the smallest, the most like barely anything at all. And they've been showing that one. It's the most bizarre thing. Okay, so here's an example right now. The impact that we're having right now, if I can get rid of the commercial so you can see it, has this violet and blue hue to it right now. If you can see, so the blue is more intense. So this area of impact is more, you'll notice more ascension symptoms happening in the blue area versus the violet, because the violet's a little bit lighter. And then a M class flare is in the middle. So there's B, but we don't really count that. C, M, X. And then they'll add a letter to the or number to the side to quantify the intensity of that particular M. So 6 is like just on this side of the middle. So it would be like a pretty good size impact. Also, we will notice that usually when we get that type of an M, like a 4 to a 7, we'll notice that there's several coming. And so it's like pop, 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 popcorn kind of thing. So just keeping that in mind too. Let's see. Hello, Cheryl. Oh my gosh. I did a TikTok video yesterday shooting off my mouth. I don't know why I read that, but that was really funny. Good job for you. Speak up. Tell your truth. Heck yeah. Love it. Oh, that's probably what my left armpit. Oh, sorry. Trina says my left armpit was aching today. Yeah, you know what? I actually have heard about this. I I haven't really had this experience personally. I'm finding that it has to do with the dominant arm as well. Oh, and you are, yeah, so that would make sense. So this dominant arm is just the flow of the energy moving through and allowing this move energy. Wow, this is so loud. I hope that you guys can't hear this. I live in the basement apartment of an apartment building, and there's like people moving in. Okay. And Mrs. March, yes, me too, Pamela. My eyelid twitching for days. Yeah, the eyelid, that's just drove me nuts too. And it was like, and you'd be like trying to meditate, and it's like, grrr. I stopped junk food months ago, says Diana. Good job. I mean, and the other thing to keep in mind, it's really awesome and a very good idea to listen to your body. Your body's always telling you what it wants, what it doesn't want. Carmen, so good to see you, brother. And listening to our body is really, really useful and all this stuff. However, at the same time, remembering that you're humans having a human experience, and I am not suggesting that you fill your body full of toxins. I mean, it's do you. However, um, we are not, I'll say it this way, we are spirits having human experiences and not, humans having spiritual experiences, right? And so allow yourself to enjoy. There are some things that, you know, people who are, trying to be extra spiritual and stuff will say that you shouldn't do and make you feel bad about it. But you know what? Everybody on this train is in ascension. And yeah, if I go and I put a lot of toxins in my body, I'm going to find that I'm going to have a little bit rougher of a time here and there. But I don't know. Some people find that worth it. So, like, I ate pizza yesterday. Not yesterday, last month. When was that? Anyway, when I did, it was really good. Red Herring Media. It's funny how we all get the chat message in different order depending on where we are in the world. Yet it all makes sense. Yeah, it's so perfect. It's so perfect. Okay, so Vegan Vixen mentioned, and I think she's talking to somebody else, so I'm just gonna like add to it and just not really exactly quote it in case that was kind of a little bit private. I'm not sure. Is that we're having a lot of people talk about this IBS like symptom, having this experience where everything's just flushing out of your body, and you needing to be very close to a bathroom and in a regular way. This is a type of purging experience that many people are having. Many people. And it's just a thing. Like, we're talking about going to we're going to the zoology fest in December, in Houston, and it's really funny because all of a sudden there's this topic of like, if everyone's still purging, we're gonna need so many porta potties. We're gonna need to like stock that place. I don't even know. Hey, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's really funny. Anyway, so we'll see what that's like. Let's see. I was reading a comment though. Oh yeah. So Trina says not everyone has wings, correct? I don't know. I don't know. I feel like everybody has what could be wings, and it's manifested or is materialized or whatever wording you prefer to use, the way that's correct for them. So like those energetic like extensions I kind of showed you, we all have a whole bunch of those that like reach out, and like their arms are in every direction. You can connect with other individuals, other beings really far away, really close to you as well. And we naturally do this in conversation. We do this over the internet on computer. When I talk to people, I notice that our energies kind of twine and intertwine and we mingle together, and that's just how conversations happen. And it can feel awesome and interesting. Anyway, these tentacle like energies also are able to be like wings on your back. And when they do take the form of the wing, then it does cause discomfort while it's developing. So I don't know if I answered your question well enough there, Trina, but that's kind of my take and my understanding of it. Toilet rolls, Vegan Vixen. Let's see. I had something I was gonna. It's funny how we all get. Oh wait, I already read that. Red Herring Media. I got a free pizza that YouTube gave me a coupon for. That was pretty cool. Hey, that's really awesome. That's cool. You know, I'm not shy about like sharing anything. So, like, just because I'm saying that I do it doesn't mean that I'm suggesting anyone else does. But yeah, I definitely will engage in foods and things that's not entirely great for me. I'll go in with knowledge. You know, um, if that's what I'm going to do, I understand what I'm doing and that there's going to be a purge. And so I then will have an intentional purge the next day, you know, just like, the teenagers of the world do, and we have done, that after like a night of drinking or something like that, when, then you need to hydrate and you need to bring in certain types of foods into your body that will help you to metabolize what you had just ingested, and so that kind of concept, this applies to this other world too. And so just keeping that in mind. Louise says little pimples in the scalp and parts of the scalp are really warm. Interesting. Um, so the parts of the scalp where the pimples are is really warm, or I think what you're saying is that you have these pimply areas in your head, and then there's also patches of warmth. There's a lot of activation happening on the head area, lots and lots and lots. So these chakras are big ones. The ones that are just below it, just like at the jaw uh, joint, right there. Those are really important ones. The ones that this sinus region that goes, it's like right there. These are really important ones. Then you have the ones that are right. So like your brow line. So this is temple. This is brow line. What I'm trying to show you is that all of these are all activating right now. They're all getting to be really intense. And so we're having a lot of this type of stuff. People talking about the sensation of like, what's it called? When people grind their teeth, the jaw discomfort. This is a really, people are being activated here right now, so. Diana, I love that. Thanks for sharing that. Yeah. Spiritual warrior, I had a weird encounter yesterday. Oh, cool. First day of a new job. Customer came in and told me how beautiful I was and could see my light. He was loaded with astral parasites. Coworkers thought he was high. Wow, that's really cool, though. That's amazing. More and more, you'll see that those who are full are those who are in need of your light are drawn to you. They're able to see you more and more clearly because your light is becoming brighter and brighter. We have just crossed a precipice. As of the 1st, officially, it was the 1st of September, the beginning of the new month. We crossed a precipice. The reason that so many people are purging old things that they used to have meaning for this particular month is the activation portal of this particular thing that had occurred. When we crossed this precipice, we were able then to contain more light and therefore exude more light. And in so doing, bringing in more, allowing more to see that you had light to come to. And so we're having more energies come to us in seeking out our service, not in a bad way. They're not coming to get us. They're coming to ask, and to give out the energy to them. You're not using up you're not giving anything away that would be useful to you. You're giving out excess of overflow, for all things are in this nature. They're intended to overflow so they can go to others that are in need and that can make use of these things. And so it's really cool to hear that you're also feeling and noticing this in your life. I'm really excited for you. And for all of you, this is going to be more and more obvious in the next little while. How can we help them? That's a really good question, Miss T. Be you. Present your light. So when we send out our light, people used to always say, I hold space for them, hold space for them. Um, and then there was this whole like, you shouldn't, you can't, you're not supposed to, whatever, send out your light to somebody without their consent. Well, they won't accept it if they don't want it. So you can just send it out. Like I was talking about before, as we send out this energy, it looks like tentacles. Again, I'm going to pull this image back up again. Excuse me. And you can stretch out these energy cords out to people. And there's many more than there are in this image. And this is something similar. And so like, we'll just reach out and kind of like guide the energy over to them, and they'll always accept it. I've never noticed anyone ever deny it. And then it's like that when you give a baby a bottle that's really hungry, just all of a sudden, like it's gone. That kind of gratitude, that just, wow, that's exactly what we needed. You can, and that's why we're being called to go out. Let's go out instead of go within. Before, we're all about self-reflection, go within, finding your reflection, that kind of stuff. And now they're really saying go out, share out, and send out this energy. Okay, so we always pull in a whole bunch of light from God, right? Like a whole bunch, like we're under a waterfall. Some people will visualize it like a beam of light, but I mean a small beam. Pardon me. But it's actually quite wide. Bringing this light from God, I'll breathe in through my nose, because then I can be in this place of peace, pulling it in. And then as I breathe out through my mouth, I'm noticing that I've contained more light than my body can keep in its sphere. And so then when I breathe out, I send it out. I send it out through the palms of my hands, my throat, my mouth, and also my heart center, but in particular my heart center, sending it out. And it's with the exhale, it's really easy to use. When I first started to do that, that was first time I could feel it coming off my pores. When you send love to somebody, you can feel it leave your pores like microscopic little breaths off each pore, a whole bunch of them. And just sending out the love and the support in this way, that they'll take it, they'll suck it up. There's something to be said about the divine masculine. I just don't know how to say it, being that I'm not in connection, in touch with what it is to be this as well as I feel like I ought to be. I do want to it's fun because see, when I talk about the divine masculine, I want to cry right now. I want to let those tears release, and there is something going on with this needing to heal, this needing for the divine masculine to heal, and to be okay with being raw, to be okay with being in a place that isn't what some might identify as or call strong. However, strength is had in truth and allowing oneself to experience whatever it is in front of them, despite what it might be or might not be. And that in honoring this, that you will find so much joy, and it will be worth it. And I'm just in a place of, I just love you all. And I feel it. I feel the divine masculine calling out from the depths. And all I know how to do is send love. And so that's my exposure of tears for this moment. I love you. I totally resonate, says Miss T, with your release. Yeah, and just allowing it to be what it's supposed to be. Source made, connection, communication, service, energy, grid activations. That's really cool. Red Herring Media. I mean, they still hate me, but I got rid of the cough, it seems. I think I missed part of your comment, Red Herring Media. Let me go back up. Even though my neighbors... Okay, hold on. I think there's more to it. Is it in thirds? Okay. Even though my neighbors hate me and let me know on a daily basis, I offered them some herbal tea. Awesome. Herbal tea for their cough. And I think it may have actually worked. Awesome. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Vegan Vixen. Thank you for everything, Pamela. Much love. Thank you for the 1111. That's really generous of you. Yeah, now I'm all a mess. It's okay. It's important to allow whatever emotion comes out to come out. We have been doing such a disservice to ourselves, stopping that, and being not the best example for those to come. Samantha says, can your cognitive thinking be affected by what's like an ascension symptom of where you feel like that you can't really use your brain very well? That's what's happening to me today. Yeah, I would say that this is this we called it Todd. I was on Todd's show with him yesterday. Any of you who missed it, by the way, that was a really fun conversation. Ended up being almost 3 hours long. The Soulology, it was on YouTube as well as Facebook and on the soulologynetwork.com platform. Anyway, yeah, the discombobulation is what he called it. And I totally resonate with that. You just kind of feel like you're just like, your brain's only like got like a half working flashlight battery. So it's like every once in a while coming on and then you're like nothing, and just making sense. And then, did you just say a word kind of stuff? This discombobulated thing is extending for me into today as well. All of a sudden we're existing simultaneously in many places, and so it's just becoming very difficult to be present in any of them very completely. Amber Joy, sweet Pamela, sending you so much love. Thank you for your insight and your service. Oh, thank you, sweetie. Eric says, thank you for your love, divine feminine. I love you. Thank you, Eric. Oh, you guys are so beautiful. Oh, Carmen. Thank you. Carmen sent 22. What does he say? Celebrate the first super chat from Carmen is what it's telling me to do. I'm celebrating. Thank you so much, Carmen. He actually sent me one for a while ago and it didn't pop up. I felt so sad for him that didn't show publicly. But thank you very much. That was very generous and sweet of you. Fleur de Lis says, thank you for your courage and authenticity, Pamela. Thank you. Oh, you guys are so sweet. Cried a lot this morning, says Star Child. Yeah. And we're finding that crying is the most amazing superpower we have. It really is. A level of release that occurs and assistance that's sent out. Your intention is amplified when you allow yourself to be in this energy and this truth, and what happens when we resist and we stop ourselves from doing something, it's the third chakra all over again, right? And we're trying to release that and open it. Break Torque says, Lazarus syndrome. I was clinically dead for over an hour and I'm here too. Wow. That would be a fun story to hear about sometime. If you feel like sending me an email, Break Torque, that's awesome. I've had a few of my own, though nothing like this. That's very cool. For any of you who do want to find any way of interacting with me, I have my email as well as my Telegram group is down in the description of this video. Also, it shows you the link to the next, or to astrologynetwork.com. That's the place that you go to find my regular Sunday show. Today's interview is going to be with my friend Stacy. I'm really excited about this particular one. So anyway, oh, hey, Stacy. Victory. Oh, thank you, sweetie. Oh, you guys are so beautiful. And Trina, thank you for being you. You guys, thank you very much. I love you all so much. Wow. What an outpouring of love today. Oh my goodness. Brain fog, says Diana. Yes. Oh my goodness. Lucia says, thank you for being you. Todd too. So real. Both of you are the most beautiful souls. Oh, thank you. I'm happy that you join us. I can feel you when you come. I don't always see your comments, but I can feel you. Miss T, I am so loving myself. Yes, good. Fully connecting and empowering myself. That's what we need to, that's exactly right. Right. And for everything that you are in every way, there is nothing that needs to be changed. There's been that's the great um removal, the creation of this illusion of the disempowered self is thinking that there's something that needs to be fixed and distracting us to do so. I'm so happy. Good job. Source Made totally resonated with that. Thank you very much. Colleen says, thank you for all the love you send out and being so honest about everything. Also sending love to you and everyone and taking time to communicate with us. Yeah, and thank you all so much too. I mean, sitting here and putting out your truth on these comments, it's hard to do. Like, I remember the first time I started to write publicly, and I can't use Pamela, I can't use my name, and so I was like, I came up with a name, and that's where actually Higher Vibrations was born. And allowing yourself to just say what's true. There is no consequence. It's just truth. And with truth, the consequence, if there is one, is freedom, is liberation, and is all of a sudden solution. When we could speak candidly to one another about things that we're conditioned to beat around the bush for, then so much is solved and done and completed. Let's see. Nanette says, thank you, Pamela. You are the best. Do any of you have spiritual attacks? I would say I used to. And then I found that I was just misunderstanding what was occurring. And then I also started to declare. So this is my space and my space alone. No one may enter except upon an invitation. This is something that anyone can say. And if you mean it, then it works. If you don't mean it, it doesn't. You can use any words that you want too. You don't have to use specific words that I just said. Just something that covers this basis. Pardon me. And so when we empower ourselves this way, and we're taking away consent and coming back to, I get to decide if I'm going to give consent, then everything can change. The experience changes completely. Everybody, I would say, almost everybody, if not everybody, can relate to what you had just said, that there is a thing that occurs in the early stages of awakening that feels like psychic attack, and that without this self-empowerment, a lot of us will then, get even more amped up, and we'll call in more of these energies, and it's kind of a vicious cycle. Or we can step out and declare what is okay and what's not okay. Also, I found it very empowering to call in particular ascended masters or beings of light that you resonate with. Some people call upon Jesus, Archangel Michael. Some people call on particular energies in the ET realm. We call out, in the different beings of whatever, what's correct for you. I strongly suggest that you call somebody in, because what they're doing is they're amplifying what you can already do, by the way. It's just, it presents you with the knowing that you're safe by having them there. You're protected because they're doing it, right? And whether or not they are, it feels like they are. That's all that matters. Bring those energies in, call upon them. Archangel Michael is the one that I always called on. Archangel Michael would always be the one there. And then I would declare, no, this is my space and my space alone. This is not going to occur. And then I would say stuff like, okay, now it's time for you to go. And then sometimes you'll find, most often, that these energies are just drawn to you because you have amazing light, and they're like, I'm hungry, and the light is source, life source. And so allow them to move through this light rather than repelling them, knowing that you're your own vessel, your own body, has been, you've removed your consent from them moving into this body. Allow them to go into this light and to go up, and they will, very rapidly. Often you'll find that it's really fun that when they can go into the light, when they're like, yay, they'll send back that yay feeling to you. You have this all of a sudden like supercharged gratitude and just, wow, I feel so great kind of feeling that comes over you as they move out. A lot of times these energies, they look like something scary. They look kind of like a movie, a horror movie kind of a character. And then when they're leaving, all of a sudden they return to this beautiful human form that they were previous in a different experience. So that was cool. Everybody was noticing 144 at that time. Let's see. I just did something weird to my chat and now I can't read anything. It's a bunch of weird blocks. Okay, there we go. Path 88. I boohoo cried when I found you. Your words spoke to my soul. Thank you for this space. Oh, thank you, sweetie. Worthiness. That's a good word, Dawn. Let's see. Oh yeah, thank you very much for saying that, Vegan Vixen. If you guys would like hit the like button, I don't like saying it, but it does really help the algorithm and make it so more people can find out that they're not alone too. Red herring, you don't dream. Oh, you're missing out. Maybe try some mugwort tea. Yeah, dreaming, the experience with dreaming has been changing for a lot of people. I find this really fascinating. It seems to be in some kind of cyclical shift that's happening. And in this cyclical shift, when people come out of this not having their dreams period, when they come out of it, all of a sudden they have recollection well into like their toddler years of like very, very obvious rememberings of it. Though it's really fascinating is that when they're out of this cycle, there's this, why don't I have my dreams? Why don't I remember? And the thing is, you're still getting activation, you're still getting code, you're still getting all kinds of awesome stuff from your dreams, even if you don't remember them. Okay. And often our logic doesn't understand them anyway. So it doesn't, it's not like we're missing out completely. I have found that the vast majority of my dreams, I am doing actual work. And so we'll be noticing more lately of like this, what looks kind of like sleepwalking because you're waking up engaged. I mean, like with a committee, there's a great number of individuals, and it's like finally it's your turn to talk and you wake up, right? It's kind of what it feels like. Or you're like, I've been doing this one thing lately where I've been like, I'll wake up and as I'm waking up, I'm like, no, I was just almost done healing that thing, and it's really, frustrating. We're in an astral experience most often when we're in dream. And so we don't always need to remember it. We don't always need to have memory of it. It's that we're doing stuff that might be even boring, or not benefit you in any way at this time, and so it's just really fascinating. So allowing yourself to also understand some of the codes of the dreams that you do recall does help. Like a lot of people will use the dream interpretation dictionary for their everyday life. For right now, like they're like, oh wow, I have a lot of this same symbol coming up over and over again in my day-to-day life. Let's look it up, and then act like it's a dream. And because really, I mean, the reality that's before us is basically a dream, right? And so it's kind of fun to discern or decipher what moments you're giving yourself. Because remember, we're in a place where this world that we're in, we created to help ourselves in some way, right? And to help us to see something. That's why we have so many breadcrumbs like Hansel and Gretel moving down the way. Vegan Vixen says, Pamela, can the deterioration of our teeth be classed as an Ascension symptom? Mine are cracking and the enamel is chipping off. Yes, it can. The teeth thing has been the most obvious one for so many of us. And it tends to happen in particular waves. That not that I know what the wave is going to be until it happens or before it happens, but you do notice that it's in the same moments that people are all talking about. Wow, I'm having this. It's called technically in the Western world or whatever you want to call it. It's called dental trauma or dental injury. Though it's not always a trauma. Like for me, what was happening is all of a sudden my teeth wanted to have spaces between them, and they never had spaces before. They were like this kind of, and then they went, never mind. And what happened when that happened? Like I don't have any kind of gum thing going on, by the way. Um, it's just that. So what had happened as that occurred, then the teeth behind got damaged, and it's just the whole thing. So and when I was talking about that, a lot of people were having that. That was in the summer of 2021, was that particular phase. It's happened a whole bunch of times since. Yeah. So I actually just saw that I need to get going. I have this show coming up from in an hour over on the soulologynetwork.com platform. It is a really cool show that just I interview individuals who I meet along the way on this journey who want to share with me, and we have conversations. And so today I'm being met with Stacy. It's going to be a lot of fun. And so any of you who want to tune in, you can also watch it in the replay. I love you all so much, and I will be back next Sunday in the Northern Hemisphere and Monday in the Southern. I love you all, and I will talk to you soon. Just know that you're okay and that you're not alone, and keep doing what you're doing. All we can do is just be in this moment that we're in right now and know that you're okay and that you're not alone, that you're doing it together. Aho blessings.